at a certain level. Stephen A., I can't get over the memory of a Nets team without James Harden. Of all of the players on the Nets, the guy who to me made them like impossible. I know you say KD. I said Harden played the best basketball of his career last year. I thought game for game was the best player in the league in both conferences. Without Harden, they were beating the brakes off the Bucks. An average margin of like 20, 25 points. Without Harden? And then when the Bucks finally won a game, it was by a slim margin in a great defensive effort from the Nets. Again, no James Harden. And then no Harden or Kyrie. And Harden comes back. He's not himself, obviously. It gets to a game 7. If KD's foot's not on the line, if KD hits an open shot, they lose right there. Again, no Harden, no Kyrie. No real Harden, no Kyrie. If the Nets are healthy, the Bucks don't even have a chance next year. They don't have a chance. It's a blow. Like, the Nets are so much better than the Bucks if they're healthy. I'm taking into account what you're saying about, hey, Kyrie sometimes not there. Harden was whatever. But then even if they got past the Nets, Stephen A., they got to get past the Lakers, AD and LeBron. You can't just rely on injury every year.
Max Kellerman.
He's about to fall
The question wasn't about next year. The question was, will Giannis win more titles in Milwaukee? He's 26. We don't know how long James Harden and Kyrie and KD gonna last in Brooklyn. LeBron's got about 2 years left in LA. The question was, will you win more titles in Milwaukee? It wasn't will you win next year. So I'm looking at Giannis at age 26. Do you believe, Max, that this is his last title of his career?
It's a good point. I would say that it is possible if he stays in Milwaukee his entire career that we are not done seeing him win championships in Milwaukee. How would I peg the odds? I don't even know if I'd make it 50-50, but it's a good point.
I think I could see Giannis winning 3 titles in his career, Max. I could see him winning 3.
The problem is it's difficult for Milwaukee to attract top-flight players, and they don't seem – ownership doesn't seem willing to –
As presently constructed, where's Drew Holiday or Middleton going in terms of their game? See, when we look at somebody like Russell Westbrook, his athleticism is off the charts. He's just almost superhuman, for crying out loud. But you do know that there's a window on that because how much longer is that going to last because of his athleticism? The same way we once looked at Derrick Rose. Giannis ain't going to get below 6'11". Middleton's mid-range game is his mid-range game. Drew Holiday's ability to play defense could be there for years to come. It is entirely conceivable that over the course of the next 3-4 years, Milwaukee could capture a couple of more titles. Not back-to-back or anything like that, but they could do it.
In today's day and age, almost always you'll have another team with 2 superstars on it, sometimes 3, once in a while 3. I don't think the Bucks are capable of beating that kind of team.
All right, let's talk about Devin Booker, guys, because he also lit it up all playoffs long, led the Suns in points per game, minutes played in these finals. He also had back-to-back 40-point performances in games 4 and 5. Max, what do you think Booker proved in these finals?
Well, he proved that he has the Mamba mentality, good and bad. You know, he can score on anyone. He can score in double and triple teams. He has every offensive move and counter in the book. But also, like Kobe, sometimes at the end of games will have tunnel vision. Kobe, the late, great Kobe Bryant, the closest thing we've seen to Michael Jordan, was the greatest bad shot maker in history. Jordan was also a great bad shot maker, didn't take as many bad shots. Jordan found the open man a little bit more. And I think Booker is going to need to take a page out of Jordan's book in that respect. Have a little less tunnel vision when it matters most, Stephen A. And from listening to what he said at the post-game presser, sometimes you think a loss is devastating a guy and maybe he won't be the same afterward. I got the distinct impression Booker will be better than ever next year as a result of this loss.
I think he will be better than ever as well. And I've had to deal with a lot of fools coming at me because I said he was the next Kobe. Tell me where you see the next Kobe. Well, he averaged 28 during these finals on 45% shooting. He had back-to-back 40-point games, even though both were losses. He had to be the man in his first ever appearance in the postseason. When Kobe did that, he had Shaq, and there was a difference. And so when you look at even though he's slightly smaller than Kobe, his mid-range game, his elevation on his jump shots, his fall away, his marksmanship at times, his ability to get to the hole. I thought he dribbled too much. I thought he tried to engage in hero ball. There were times in Kobe's young career where we accused him of that as well. It's not to say he's better than Kobe. When we say he's next, it's like he's very much like Kobe. Kobe tried to emulate MJ. A lot of his game, to some degree, was a lot like MJ. He was never MJ. He was never accused of being better than MJ. But what Kobe brought to the table was very Jordan-esque in certain respects. And we recognized it while not going far enough to say he was Jordan 2.0. That's what I'm saying is the level of respect we could accord Devin Booker, particularly when we consider the fact that he's just 24 years of age and he is coming.
If the question is Booker more like Kobe or Kobe more like Jordan? Kobe's more like Jordan than Booker is like Kobe. But, Stephen A., I'm sick of people saying you can't compare. Of course you can compare. There are elements of someone or someone reminds you of someone else. Doesn't mean you're saying the other dude's as good as him. You're saying that he's got a piece of his game or elements of his style. And obviously that's true of Booker and Kobe.
No, that's fair. All right, let me ask you this, guys. I've said the odds all show. So obviously it's the Nets next year with the best odds, then the Lakers, then it's the Bucks. There, you can see it up there for yourself. Stephen A., who do you think meets in the finals next season? Do you think it's chalk, Nets, Lakers, what we expected this year?
Believe it or not, I'm still going to say Nets, Lakers, but if Kawhi stays with the Clippers and he ends up healthy, I wouldn't rule out the Clippers as well. I definitely am going to give the edge to the Brooklyn Nets because I think Harden, Kyrie, and KD healthy together, I think is an unstoppable juggernaut of a force, and I don't think anybody would beat.
3 on, committing third again to the season for CP3. Is this it for him? Has his championship window officially closed?
I think so. I really do. I hope I'm wrong. And who knows, he could end up departing from Phoenix because remember, he's got a player option scheduled to be paid $44 million this year, but he can opt out and get a 2-year deal at about $70 million draft. And so I look at all of those things and I just say to myself, you know, to be 36 years of age, to be the best player on the court for the Phoenix Suns last night, to be in your 16th year, to be this close, and for this opportunity to slip through your fingers, you just found yourself thinking that this was CP3's lone chance. Because I just brought up the West. I didn't bring up Brooklyn in the East. I didn't bring up Milwaukee in the East. I didn't bring up Philly in the East. I didn't bring up Atlanta in the East. Who knows who could end up in Miami? I didn't bring that up. I just think that it's too much of a daunting task to expect that at this point in time in his career, that there's another opportunity laying down the road for CP3. I think it came and it went last night.
Yeah, probably.